If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and four-fifths of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
All right, shalom. I'd like to start out by saying Ka Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and my elder Harawan as well. Salutations to the Eichen that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? All right. And today, on this folly day that people around the world are celebrating, in commemoration of Nimrod and not even knowing it, I'm going to put forth this lesson that says that it's an old speech by Paul Harvey, an old radio broadcaster that gave a speech that said, if I were the devil, all right? And this particular speech is his point of view. If he were the devil, the things he would do in society and in the world. And the irony behind it, he's an Edomite, so-called white man, right? And the things that he's naming are the things that his race is doing to this day. And that's the irony behind it. If I were the devil, playing devil's advocate when you really are the devil, all right? So there's a couple screenshots, key points to the speech. As I played the speech in the beginning of the lesson, so there's a couple key points that I want to bring out, and then touch on to prove who the devil is to this day. All right. So I want to start out with Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and serves purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, with sincerity and truth. And the first scripture I want to start out with is Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If he's not the devil, then who is? All right. So like the first thing says, it says, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, right? And that's what he does. And that darkness being confusion, death, distress. As a matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, you got that. Let me get Isaiah chapter. No, actually, let me get Ephesians 6 and 12. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. So basically said if he were the devil or the prince of darkness, he'd engulf the whole world in darkness. All right. And I just read in Job 9 and 24 that he covers the faces of the judges, meaning putting confusion on who the real judges are by taking down the true image of the Lord, not only being the pictition or the description, also meaning the image, meaning his laws, statutes, and commandments. His mindset that was supposed to be placed on this earth by the children of Israel, his state of mind. So, so that's how he covered the face or the image of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, so this is a spiritual battle that we're going forth, and the darkness is so gross that people can't even understand, um, you know, what's going on because there's so much confusion because of the devices of man. All right, this is Ephesians 6 and 12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers and against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." All right. And who is that that's bringing forth that? Esau, man. He's one bringing that darkness and confusion throughout the whole world. All right. And that was he was set to do that. Let me get Revelations chapter 20. Verse 7, it says, and when the thousand, let me start at verse 1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from the heaven having the key to the bottomless pit, and that bottomless pit represents Europe, and a great chain in his hand, and he laid hold the dragon, that serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. All right, and that's roughly around 410 to like 1453. All right, so all right, keep going. It says, and cast him to the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal on him, that he should deceive the nations no more till those 1,000 years should be fulfilled. After that, he must be loosed a little season, and that little season is now, to spread his wickedness and his folly and his darkness throughout the whole earth. All right, go and skip down to verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. All right, that pit that the Lord locked them up in, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, right, spreading the darkness. So this is what he was ordained to do by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. It says, Gog and Magog, to gather together the battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea. All right, so that's the whole point of him, and he does this through deception. All right, let me get 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It says, verse 3, it says, matter of fact, start at 1. It says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, by our gathering together unto him. All right, that's us coming together through the Spirit. All right, the Spirit is what's bringing New Jerusalem together, the Spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and it's conquering the gross darkness that was put on throughout the whole world by the devil. You see little sparkles of light, and those are the elect. All right, it says that ye be not soon shaken in mind or troubled. All right, letting your light be put out and becoming that part of that darkness. Right, that's how you get the shaking of the mind. All right, it says neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as the day of Yahushua is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, which is talking about the devil, which is the physical counterpart of Satan, and he's talking about Esau, the so-called white man. And that happened in 70 AD when Rome, with Titus and Vespasian, took over uh, Jerusalem. The fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. All right, that was that great falling away, and then from then he was able to put forth his darkness, because we were always plaguing them with the word. The Lord always sends prophets out, prophesying and speaking on his word. So what he's trying to do is spread darkness, so nobody can be able to concept that word. All right, it says, and so he's the son of destruction and confusion and darkness. All right. It says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship as God, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself to be God. And he done that with his Christianity and things like that. That's putting this in a dark place. You take the light out, and this place is great darkness. All right. So, but the elect are the little speckles of light that are within this darkness for the ones that are meant to make it. All right. They're following those lights, which that light was given through by the spirit of Yahushua, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So he becomes our opposition. The word Satan means adversary or opposition. All right. It says, remember ye not what when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. Right. So he's being revealed, right? And the house of the thief, or the main resting place for the devil, really is Europe, but ultimately America pushing the values of Rome all over again, with their Roman Greek mythology and their pagan, their idol worship. See, their whole goal is to make the world uh, without understanding and confusion, and for the whole world to worship their idols. That's the whole point of they're putting confusion all over the earth to represent their gods. But our power is the power of truth, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. And it says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And that's us, the prophets, going out there on the highways and byways, all right, consuming this darkness with the light that was spread upon us through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, revealing the wicked, all right, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And ultimately, when the Lord shows up with the chariots, he's going to consume all confusion and put away all darkness. Said the sun and the moon shall not have to give their light anymore, because all shall know the Lord. All right, so the absence of the Lord here, the absence of the Lord's Spirit is here. It brings great darkness on the earth, and that's the whole purpose and goal of the devil is to do. All right. It says, verse 9, it says, even him whose working is after the coming, whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right. All right. With all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. All right. And that's the point right there with the deception and witchcraft and sorcery. He's created great darkness throughout the whole earth. It says, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Right. So that's basically the job that Esau was sent out to do, was conquer, kill, steal, and destroy, and spread darkness as light. But the Lord says, woe unto them that do that. Get Isaiah 5:20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Right. And that's what the devil is doing, man. That's exactly what he's doing. All right. But the elect, the ones that bear the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, are to bring forth the light. And wherever you put light at, darkness tries to escape. But pretty soon, darkness is not going to have a corner to run to anymore, because the light's going to totally consume all the darkness that's being spread by this devil. This is John chapter 3, verse 17. It says, "For Yahweh sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved," meaning the elect of Israel. Okay? It says, "He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. And this is the condemnation, that the light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds are evil." That just lets you know that evil and confusion is the point of darkness to put forth on the world, to confuse the mind of the people that are set up for destruction, because they refuse the light, because their deeds are evil, man, falling out the ways of their father, the devil. All right. It says, "For everyone that doeth evil hath hated the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved." That's why Esau can't come to the light, because he's full of darkness. And says, "But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahweh." Right. So the ones that bear the truth, right, coming bearing the Urim and the Thummim with the Holy Spirit, are the ones that are going to become spreading that light. Right. And that lets you know that the light is truth, and darkness is lies and confusion. All right. So next key point he was talking about, it said, "And I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population." All right. What does that talk? What does that sound like? That sounds exactly like Esau, man. All right. Matter of fact, um, let me get Habakkuk chapter 2. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "Behold," let's start at 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely comes." Because the truth is not, the vision of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that he's talking about is not a lie, it's the truth. All right. It says, "Surely it will come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." Right. Because we're not ignorant of Satan's wicked devices. That's why Paul said, "Let no man deceive you by any means." All right. Because the devil is going to try his best to deceive the elect, as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. All right, because we are represented as the prey right now, but soon the Lord's going to change that to where they're going to be the prey, and we're going to be the roaring lion. The lion that's not crouching anymore, is ready to pounce and devour its prey. So the Lord's going to take the cup of trembling away from us and put it upon Esau, when all his lies and wickedness are being exposed. So he said, "I would have a third of its real estate," meaning the whole world, um, and 4/5 of the population, right? And that's what America does. It goes around spreading its fornications, according to Revelations, as the harlot. That's what America does, man. And who the elite banker Esau is running this whole show, man. Starting all the way from Europe, dealing with the money and the finances. All right, and NATO and the European Union using America as a hammer of the earth, and it's ultimately ran by Esau. The whole fashion is ran by Esau from the beginning to the end. No other nation, even though they use other nations as little pawns for their ultimate scheme for the New World Order, no other nation, has come up with this idea. Now, these other nations have taken part, but it's all done by Esau, man. The Lord set him up to do that like that. All right. Let me see. Should I? Yeah. So the Lord set him up. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me get on. All right. Let me keep going with this. It says, so, but we live by faith. All right. Those are the ones that believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai that came into the light and shed off darkness. All right. So we're not going to believe in the lies that are being put forth by Esau. We're going to believe in the truth that we believe in, the truth that was given to us by Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, verse 5, it says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, meaning confusion, philosophies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Neither keepeth at home, right? I'd have a third of its real estate. And actually, that's an understatement because America, Esau has more than a third of the real estate of the world. They took over South Africa. They took over mainly the Middle East. They took over Europe from Japhet, and we were dwelling in Europe also. So their inward thoughts is that they should live forever, and they call the cities after their own names. Look at Africa, Scipio Africanus, America, Americus Vespucci. All right, and so it is what it is. I mean, he's claiming he's the rightful heir of destruction. Meaning, if I were the devil, you are the devil. So it's time for these devils to stop playing devil's advocate and expose themselves as being the true devils. All right, that's why they come up against the men of the Lord. They don't go up against any other nation the way they come up against Israel, the true Israelites. All right, it says, verse 5, it says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So that's the having a third of the real estate and a 4/5 of its population. All right, that's consuming the whole world with his philosophies, with his wine. All right, as a matter of fact, let me get Revelation chapter 6, verse 8. It says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. All right, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with beasts of the earth. All right, and that's all prophetic coming to pass. That's all prophetic coming to pass. The wickedness of Esau, you know. And he's living out his part. Now it's time for Jacob to man up and live out his as being the righteous on this earth and getting out here and doing the work. Because the devil sure is doing his work. He's doing a great job of being the devil. Now we need to do a great job of being the children of Israel, fishing for the elect and helping usher in the kingdom of the dear son of Yahweh Shai, our deliverer. All right. So next key point I want to talk about is it said, but I wouldn't be happy until I seized the ripest apple on the tree. All right. What does it say? Neither keepeth at home and is not satisfied, cannot be satisfied. All right. Who is the ripest apple on the tree? Let me get ripest apple on the tree. And we all know who the ripest apple on the tree is. All right. This is Zechariah 2:7. It says, deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. Who the daughter of Babylon is America. All right. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoil you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. So who was the ripest apple on the tree? It's talking about Israel. You know, we being, and right now the elect of Israel being the ripest apple on the tree. And what is ultimately Esau wants to totally consume us. Okay, there's another precept I want to get. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 9. It says, "For the Lord's portion is his people; Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land." All right, we're in that desert today in America, but Esau has made the whole world a wilderness, or wilderness just means desert. It says, "And in the waste, howling wilderness." Right. He led him about. He instructed him, and we're being instructed this day as with the word, through the Spirit. He kept him as the apple of his eye, and he's talking about Israel. So knowing that Esau has a perpetual hatred against Jacob and wanting to consume Jacob, but Jacob is the apple of his eye, and you cannot all the consumption of Jacob that Esau's trying to do is going to turn around on his own head, man. The Lord's going to eradicate him off the earth. All right, this is Psalm 17, verse 8. It says, "Keep me as the apple of thine eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings." Right. And the wings being the chariots, meaning, and who dwell in those wings? All right, the angels. Okay, so what does the scripture say? He shall give his angels charge over thee. So the Lord, the rest of they understand that we are the apple of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh eyes, right? And Esau won't stop until he consumes us, right? But the Lord's not going to allow him to consume us. All right. Matter of fact, let me get all right. This is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 35. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me forever." And that's never gonna stop. All right. So, but Esau's had it in his mind ever since the blessing that was given unto him by Isaac, which was Yahweh Shai, to kill Jacob. Just like Cain killed Abel. If you can understand that. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. It said, "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of the mourning for my father are at hand. Then when I slay my brother Jacob." All right. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doeth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. All right. So and that perpetual hatred never did cease. It never did cease. So I'm gonna get Obadiah too. Before I get Obadiah, I'm gonna get Ezekiel chapter 35. It says, this is Ezekiel 35 and 1. It says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it." Right, because Yahweh by Shem Yahushai ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right, Just like how he told Gog and Magog, I am against thee. Just because I set you up to do my will, all right, because the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. He giveth unto him whoever he please, and he set up over it the basis of man. Who is that base man? Esau. And so his whole agenda is to destroy the righteous or destroy the light from the beginning. From from Cain to the serpent in the garden to Esau and so on and so forth. It says, so the Lord is against Esau, even though he's set up on top right now. But it was all a part of the plan established by Yahweh by Shem Yahushai and destroying Edom and their own demise, right? They worship the devil so much they don't even know that they worship Satan so much they don't even know Satan is beguiling them. Just like, because he's a deceiver. And they do the works after their own father, so they come as the physical counterpart of Satan, doing the bill of Satan. All right? Being the devil. It says, and say unto it, verse 3, it says, say unto it, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, power. Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So all this building, owning a third of the earth's real estate and 4/5 of the population, which they're trying to depopulize with these jabs and these vaccines, it's all wickedness and witchcraft. And he's playing his part to the T. Right? The Lord set him up like this. Okay? It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. And that was Esau's blessing was the sword. It says, in the time of their calamities, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So he had an opportunity to let up, but his pride wasn't going to allow him to let up. So when the Lord comes down, he's going to catch him red-handed. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that pisseth out, and him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills and thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we shall possess it, whereas the Lord was there. All right? And these two countries, these two nations, talking about the northern and the southern kingdom. All right? And this whole thing is talking about the hatred of Esau against the children of Israel. And it goes all the way back from the blessing that was given to Esau, man. So he said he will not consume till I have these two nations. And that's Edom speaking. All right. So let me get Obadiah real quick. Obadiah 1:10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right. And that's the point. So his perpetual hatred, the more of a perpetual hatred that he has against the children of Israel, the more perpetual hatred that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has against him. All right. So the ripest apple on the tree. All right, I got that twice, Shalaki. So I set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. All right, and who was that? And that's talking about your elite, Europe, because Europe runs America, man. All right, Europe runs America. That's in Daniel, how America was developed. And also, let me get Revelation chapter 13. This is Revelation 13 and 11. And it says, and I beheld, I could have started at 1, but I'm going to go ahead and get to the point at 11. It says, I beheld another beast cometh out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Right. So that represents America and the system. All right. The whole government system, your Democratic and your Republican Party. And it says, and that was just like the fashions of Rome. All right. Verse 12, it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. That's talking about Rome. All right. So this is how the devil is taking over the United States. Right? Using the United States as being the hammer of the earth, while the Illuminati and the elites and the international bankers are the financiers backing it, and has European Union, NATO flexing his muscles and using America to flex his muscles. So this whole system was set up and designed to use America to take over the whole earth, and this is the whole operation of the devil. All right, the physical counterpart of Satan, which his biblical name is Esau, but he's down here on earth, is called the so-called white man, Caucasian race. All right, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And they did that with big man and little man. All right. And now you have an ultimate nuclear arms race because of this. Now everybody's going to see who can get the best nuclear weapons, and this is all a setup for the big show, the showdown when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shows up. All right, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. There goes that darkness again. All right, by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Right. So the image is the system that was set up, and that system is going to be set up to bring in the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right. So that's them putting together this whole system in the New World Order, right? NWO, New World Order, and you see them about to trying to fill their belly right now, but they cannot be satisfied with bread. All right. So before they can keep consuming, the Lord's going to destroy them. All right. It says, I would subvert the churches first. Let me get that word subvert, because I'm not sure what that means before I even start speaking. Subvert. Meaning. I said to overturn or overthrow from the foundation, ruin, to undermine. All right, dig a hole under the bottom of it so it can't really sustain itself or be stabilized. All right. So them having control over all spirituality, and they're trying to do it with this Maxine stuff, because the elder had did a lesson, or Elder Harold One had did a lesson, and part of the lesson was showing how they're trying to alter the DNA, which ultimately can alter the minds of the people to where they won't even seek any type of spiritual background or spiritual faith. Everything can be done by idol worship. They said that it was a certain drug that they could give individuals that can lessen, is some kind of chemical that gives off when you think according to, or like try to, like dealing with religion. Let's say religion, for use lack of better words, because that's the words they were using, religion. So non-religious people, their brain wouldn't give off this certain activity that religious people would, and with the certain drug that they could give them, it will lessen the people that would give off this whatever chemical that the brain would go off when they appease to certain religions, and they're trying to take away that chemical from being processed in the brain. So with that being said, these churches today is set up by Esau, right? So he's the one that's subverting The churches. So you got a lot of people that are in these churches thinking that they're worshiping God, but they're really worshiping the devil and the system that the beast has set up. But it all comes from Rome. This all goes to Roman Catholicism when you go back to 325 AD with the Council of Nicaea, the seven ecumenical councils. This is nothing new. This has always been started. The devil has been the devil since he was let out the cave. The devil's been the devil since the beginning. But like he's having his last hoorah, and the Lord is giving them the power to do it. But you have to be the children of the light to have an understanding on who the devil is and what his plan is. Because ultimately it's the plan of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So they would subvert the churches, right? This is Revelation chapter 16, verse 13. It says, "And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon." All right, NATO and the EU. All right, out of the mouth EU, and out of the mouth of the beast, NATO, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, and that's the Holy Roman Empire or the Catholic Church. All right, which through Constantine the Great, he took the scriptures. He was a Jake. He took the scriptures and put paganism and pagan worship and created these holidays and created these religions. All right, so it was all started as to be another point of deception. All right, I'm gonna create a chaotic environment, and I'm gonna create your form of hope. So you got individuals that are hoping in these churches, and it's all set up by the people that put them in the dire straits that they're in right now. It was set up by these individuals, and it's all a form of order by chaos, man. It's all a form of order by chaos. So they put you in a dangerous situation. Like they dig a hole, push you in the hole, and put the ladder in there to get you out. But the ladder has thorns and nails in it. But you got to climb that ladder to get out of that hole. That's the whole setup, man. And then you get out, you bleeding all over the place. You shaking their hand, telling them thank you. It's all the deception, witchcraft, and sorcery set up. Because if you don't have the light, that's what condemns you. You won't be able to understand this. You will be thinking that the devil is actually helping you when he's actually deceiving you the whole time. All right. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. All right. So let's get to this wisdom that he has. Get to this wisdom that he has. All right. Let me get Ezekiel. I think it's 28. Ezekiel 28 and all right. 28 and 2, it says, "Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord Yahweh," who does that represent? Esau today. "Yahweh power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, and I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, even though you set your heart as the heart of God, you're a man. But you have the whole world believing that you're a God." And that's the biggest trick the devil ever did, was convince the whole world that he was God and that the true God didn't exist. And that's one of the key points that he said in this video. He would convince the world that man created God, not the other way around. But we already know Yahweh Shem Yahushai created everything, the good and the evil. It says, verse 3, it says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver unto thy treasures. By thy great wisdom," all right, that was the point. All right, with that wisdom. And that wisdom was deception, man. All right, was deception. That was the wisdom that they used. Let me get Genesis chapter 3 to get to the root. Genesis 3 and 1, it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea, Hath Yahweh said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Right. So now going back to Revelation chapter 20, understanding the serpent was not a snake, it was a man. Revelation 20:1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So to let you know, he's a physical counterpart of Satan, so-called white man, the devil. His biblical name, Edom. All right. Going back to Genesis 3:1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord had, Yahweh had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath Yahweh said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the garden, of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh hath said, yea, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Here comes a deception. It says, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not die, ye shall not surely die. For Yahweh doeth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And that's where the deception came in, right? Which was ultimately a setup by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, to get us to this point that we're in right now. Because while the devil was thought he was being deceived, and he was being the deceiver, he was being deceived himself, because he said, the deceived and the deceiver are mine. All right, so it was all a point set up by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. All right, for the manifestation of the sons of God. All right, this is Romans chapter 8, verse 19. It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subject the same in hope. So there was all reason of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai to get us to this point, to be to the end and be perfect, made perfect, understanding what good and evil really is. So going back to the deception of him whispering into Eve's ear, I'm gonna get Psalms chapter 58. This is Psalms 58:3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Right. And that's what they do. They lie to the people, man. That's all they do is lie, man. It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder who stoppeth her ear. Meaning deaf, he cannot hear the instructions of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. You know, he cannot hear the instructions of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So what does he do? He whispers deceitfulness, deception into the minds of the simple that will believe. It says, this is Psalm chapter 50, verse 16. It says, but unto the wicked he said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou should taketh my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hast hated instruction, and hast cast my words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou canst. Well, 2/3 of our people are like this too. But let me skip down to verse 19. No, let's keep going. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentedest with him, and hast been partakers with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frame deceit. Thou sittest and speak against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. And that's what he does to this day, man. And has the whole world turned against us as if we're the evil, and we're the evil ones. All right. I got one more scripture I want to get to close it out. I think. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3, it says, But I fear lest by any means, as a serpent beguiled Eve through subtlety, so your minds should be corrupt from the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's where the corruption comes from, the deception that was brought forth. Because the word devil just means deceiver, man. Diablos. All right, and they go astray soon as they be born speaking lies, man. All right, and last key point. In other words, if I were the devil, I just keep right on doing what he's doing. And that word right there should be I'm, because even this guy, Paul Harvey, being an Edomite, was part of this devil's system. And this speech was like the showing the pride and arrogancy of this devil, Esau. You know, trying to really talking in third person by explaining this. Well, yeah, it'll be third person when he is giving reference into himself, man. But the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai is here to destroy the darkness and destroy the structure and the foundation of the system which was set up by the devil. All right? And that's just it. So, with him being the devil, Esau, the so-called white man, he's going to continue to do what he does until the Lord takes him out of the way. All right. With that being said, I hope this lesson was edifying and served its purpose for the hopeful elect that truly believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai and help spreading the light and condemning the darkness. All right. All right. Say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harikak Radash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, and my elder as well. And salutation to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai and sincerity and truth. Shalom.